Cangrejeros de Santurce Baseball. Cangrejeros de Santurce is a professional baseball team based in Santurce, the largest barrio of San Juan, Puerto Rico. The franchise joined the Liga de Béisbol Profesional Roberto Clemente when it was the semi-professional Liga de Béisbol Semi-Profesional de Puerto Rico. Having played for over 70 years, the Cangrejeros have won 12 national titles and 5 Caribbean series. With over 2,000 victories, the Cangrejeros have won the most games in the history of Puerto Rican professional baseball. The 1954-55 Cangrejeros, nicknamed Panic Squad, was the team's most notable roster, with a lineup that included Hall of Famers Roberto Clemente and Willie Mays. This version of the Cangrejeros won the national and Caribbean championships by sweeping their respective series. The Cangrejeros most recently played its home games at Hiram Bithorn Stadium in the municipality of San Juan. For several years they shared this field with the Senadores de San Juan, also known temporally as the San Juan Metros. A sports rivalry has always existed between both teams, leading to the creation of the City Championship, which was a season-long series that gave the team with the most wins the aforementioned title. During the 2003-04 season, they also shared the stadium with the Montreal Expos before they were relocated to Washington, D.C., and became the Nationals. Previous home fields include the Sixto Escobar Stadium near Old San Juan, as well as the Juan Ramón Loubriel Stadium in Bayamón. The team's official radio station in the metropolitan area was WUNO Noti-Uno Metro on the 630 AM frequency. Creation and early years. Pedrin Zorrilla, an amateur baseball player and then executive in Shell Oil's branch in Puerto Rico, established a baseball team at Santurce in the 1930s. A franchise was soon created and headquarters were located at Parada 20. Heriberto Ramirez de Arellano was responsible for its title, naming it after the Cangrejo Arriba and Cangrejo Abajo sectors of Condado and Loiza Street, where some players lived. Zorrilla led a board composed of Ramirez de Arellano, Rafael Muniz, Mike Passerell, Hector Neves, Tono Palermo, among others, which oversaw fundraising and operation. Panchiku Tost established contact with several local business, which promoted the team and managed ticket sales. The franchise received some opposition from the staff of the Senadores de San Juan, the municipality's main team at the time. The first uniforms of the Cangrejeros were bought blank, and the numbers and names of the players were sewed on for free by the mother of former general manager and sports writer Carlos Peave, who was a baseball fanatic. Following these efforts, the Cangrejeros joined the Liga de Béisbol Semi-Profesional de Puerto Rico for the 1939-40 season, 1 year after its foundation and sharing Estadio del Escambren with the Senadores de San Juan. The team's lineup included Agustin Daviu, the first Puerto Rican to play organized baseball in the United States, and Luis Raúl Cabrera, both from Ponce. The rest of the local starters were Oscar Mangual, Ramon Concepcion, Guillermo Angulo, and Felito Concepcion. The league's rules allowed the inclusion of 3 foreign reinforcements. Zorrilla contracted Negro leaguers Billy Bayard, Josh Gibson, and Dick C. to fill these spaces. C. served as player-manager in the early part of this season, leaving the office to Gibson once he arrived until he abandoned the team to play in Venezuela before the season was over. The Cangrejeros made their debut on October 1, 1939, trading victories with Aguadilla in a doubleheader. Another doubleheader was played against San Juan in October, with the teams trading victories again. The rivalry between the Cangrejeros and Senadores became known as the City Championship, a term coined by Zorrilla as a publicity stunt, with San Juan winning the first banner of this matchup. However, The team suffered a 23-0 loss to Guayama in November, which marked the worst defeat by any Santurce-based team in 60 years. Consequently, the Cangrejeros were called a softball team by the media, a pattern that continued throughout its early years. The Cangrejeros finished the season's first half in the sixth place, tying Aguadilla fourth during the second half. The team concluded its first season by defeating San Juan in 2 consecutive games, forcing the Senadores to play more games to secure the pennant. The team's home stadium was renamed Estadio Sixto Escobar after Sixto Escobar, Puerto Rico's first boxing champion. After an average first season, Cabrera soon became the Cangrejeros' franchise player, conserving this status. In 1940-41, the Cangrejeros improved their performance. With the loss of Gibson, the team had signed Efrain Merced, Georgie Calderon, Raymond Brown, and obtained Pedro Jaime Reyes in a trade for Concepcion. The team had a weak start, trading victories in a doubleheader against San Juan before finishing last during the first half of the season, drastically improving to win the second half and earn a spot in the championship series. This was the first time that the Cangrejeros won the city championship banner, winning all games against San Juan during the second half. The team finished this half with a record of 11 wins and 3 losses, gaining victories over the Grises de Humacao, Caguas, Meags, and Guayama. In the championship series, the Cangrejeros were matched against the Criollos de Caguas, losing in 7 games. Cabrera won the LBSPR's Most Valuable Player award. In 1941-42, the Cangrejeros lost several close games, being unable to match Ponce, the team that won both halves led by Francisco Coimbra. Gibson rejoined the team, hitting .480 to win the MVP award. The Marin Rum Company became the team's first sponsor, which earned the team a nickname, Santurce Marin, during the early 1940s. World War II and First Caribbean Series title. During the Second World War, several players were drafted into military service. The league cut the number of teams by half, and no foreign reinforcements played for 3 years. In 1942-43, Caguas lost its franchise and Santurce signed some of its players, including Luis Olmo, Sammy Cespedes, and Manolo Garcia. The Cangrejeros won the first half and advanced to the finals, but lost the series to the Leones de Ponce. In this season, Olmo was named co-MVP along Coimbra. Ponce went on to win the following 2 championships, with the Cangrejeros finishing in the second place. Felix Andrade and Alfonso Gerard won Rookie of the Year awards for Santurce, while Tetilo Vargas won the league's batting title in 1943-44. In 1945-46, the team had its worst season up to that point, finishing last in the league. However, Victor Cruz became the team's 3rd straight Rookie of the Year. Gibson did not hit a single home run throughout the season, experiencing an emotional breakdown that convinced Zorrilla to send him back to Pittsburgh. Vargas was the team's best hitter, while his former teammate in Guayama's amateur circuit, Paracho Cepeda, joined the Cangrejeros. In 1946-47, Santurce was managed by Clarence Palm, finishing 4th in the league's standing. Willard Brown joined the team during that season, winning the batting title. Igo Otero took over the office of vice president. The Cangrejeros finished in the 3rd place in 1947-48, despite signing Satchel Paige and Ruben Gómez, and Brown winning the league's Triple Crown. The team tied Meags for the first half's lead, but the Indios were declared winners due to the leading the individual series. In 1948-49, the LBPPR established a new format, where the top 3 teams from an 80-game season would advance to the playoffs. The Cangrejeros tied Ponce in the second place, eliminating them in the semifinals. However, they lost the finals series against Mayagüez. The team recorded the best assistance in the league with 4,337 followers per game for a total of 173,466. In 1949-50, the Cangrejeros once again tied with Ponce in the second position, being eliminated in the semifinals against the Indios. Brown won its second Triple Crown. The team was sponsored by TK Deluxe toothbrushes. For the 1950-51 season, Zorla signed George Scales to manage the team and contracted new imports. The team won its first pennant after Jose Lucas hit a home run that became known as El Pepelucazo. The Cangrejeros went on to win the city championship, subsequently defeating the Senadores in all of their semifinal games. The team defeated the Criollos in a 7-game series, winning Santurce's first LBPPR championship and advancing to the newly created Caribbean Series. In their first international competition, the Cangrejeros were reinforced with Olmo, who had returned to Caguas, Roberto Vargas, and Jose Santiago, among others, winning the first Caribbean title for Puerto Rico. Olmo was selected the series MVP. In 1951-52, Santurce finished third, winning 16 and losing 4 to finish the regular season. In the semifinals, they defeated Caguas in all of the semifinal games, losing the finals to San Juan. Gómez was selected the league's MVP. In 1952-53, the Cangrejeros employed Buster Clarkson as the player manager. This season marked Roberto Clemente's debut in the league after being signed by Zorla. The team advanced to the playoffs, where they eliminated the Leones in 3 games. The finals were against the Senadores, with Santurce winning its second championship in a 6-game series. The Cangrejeros went on to win their second Caribbean Series title, with a final record of 5-1. In the 1953-54 season, the Cangrejeros finished last in the standing. Clemente and Gómez recorded solid performances. The following season, Zorla and Otero asked permission to the New York Giants and managed to secure a contract for MLB National League MVP Willie Mays, who played center field and went on to win the league's MVP and batting title. Other imports included Clarkson, Bob Thurman, and George Crow. After the first month of the season, the team was in the 4th place of the leagues. Despite this change, the team made 2 releases to contract 3 reinforcement players, but lost 1 due to an MLB rule that prohibited the participation of 5 players from the same team in the winter leagues. On this year's All-Star game, Clemente hit 2 home runs to give the North team, composed of players from Santurce, San Juan, a victory over the South team. On October 31, 1954, Gómez pitched the league's first shutout. He finished with a record of 13-4 and won the city championship and Caribbean Series title for Santurce. After sweeping their series, the team did not sign any reinforcement prior to the Caribbean Series, being the first time that a team had done so. 5 players were included in the event's all-star lineup. This version of the Cangrejeros was nicknamed El Escuadrón del Pánico by local newspapers. The team was received by a multitude, and they were invited to La Fortaleza. The Cangrejeros signed 7 new players for the 1955-56 season, including Orlando Cepeda, Jose Pagan, and Juan Pizarro. They led the league throughout the regular season, winning that phase's title, and advanced to the playoffs. Cepeda hit his first home run on October 30, 1955, in a 16-inning loss against the Leones. Despite this success, the team struggled to attract fans, a problem that affected the league for some years with the emergence of television. The other team to advance to the final series was the Criollos, who went on to win after falling behind 1-2. In 1956-57, Zorla sold the team to Ramon Cuvas. Clemente was traded to Caguas along Pizarro and Ronnie Samford. Gómez was the team's only MLB pitcher during this season. Santurce went on to win the league's pennant, winning 10 straight games to close the regular season. In the final series, the Cangrejeros lost to Mayagüez 1-4. On 1957-58, the team won its fourth consecutive pennant, recovering from a slow first-half start. The team was forced to adjust its schedule to comply with the growing popularity of horse races, product of El Comandante Hippodrome opening that year. Cepeda led the league in RBI and was tied with Victor Pelot in home runs. The Cangrejeros lost the final to Caguas in a series where Clemente and Pizarro dominated their former teammates. In the 1958-59 season, Zorla returned to serve as the team's general manager, and the team stopped airing their games to deal with attendance issues. San Juan and Santurce competed for the pennant throughout the season, but the Senadores ultimately won it, leaving the Cangrejeros in the second place. The team went on to defeat Mayagüez in a 7-game semifinal. The other team to advance was Caguas, who gained a quick 2-game lead in the final series. The Cangrejeros recovered, winning 4 straight games, being led by Gómez, Cepeda, and Julio Navarro. Pelot, Nino Escalera, and Luis Arroyo reinforced the Cangrejeros for the Caribbean Series. The team finished in the third place with a .500 win percentage. Emergence of Cepeda, Gómez's latter career. 1959-60 season marked the end of a business deal with the San Francisco Giants that resulted in the participation of that team's prospects for Santurce, when Ray Murray was fired from the manager office after shifting Cepeda to the left field and recording a losing record. Olmo became the team's new manager, and the team recovered Pizarro in a trade with Caguas. The Asociación de Jugadores de Puerto Rico lit. Puerto Rico Players Association was formed, with Gómez and Santiago representing the Cangrejeros. Santurce advanced to the semifinals, where they defeated Caguas twice before losing the remaining 3 games. The Cangrejeros finished last during the first half of the 1960-61 season and were the runner-up of the second. During the 1961-62 season, the team shared its home stadium, Estadio Sixto Escobar, with the Senadores, eventually moving to Hiram Bithorn Stadium. The Cangrejeros advanced to the playoffs, defeating Caguas in a 7-game semifinal. Santurce won the finals series, sweeping the Indios. Cepeda broke a record by hitting 19 home runs throughout the season, while Pizarro did so by recording 7 straight strikeouts against Ponce as part of his 5th consecutive year leading the LBPPR in strikeouts. The team went on to become the only LBPPR team to win the Inter-American Series, which were held in their home field. In the 1962-63 season, the Cangrejeros lost Cepeda, but reinforced its roster with prospects from the Cleveland Indians. The team advanced to the playoffs, but lost its semifinal to the Criollos. However, Pizarro was signed as the Indios' reinforcement for the Inter-American Series, pitching the only no-hitter in the event's history, which included 10 strikeouts. Santurce's Jose Jagel was the LBPPR's Rookie of the Year. Cepeda returned to play during the 1963-64 season and was joined by Jose Tartibal. The Cangrejeros finished in the 4th place of the pennant race, but won the city championship. In the 1964-65 season, the team signed Marv Stihel to reinforce a team that included Jagel, Martin Beltran, and Felix Maldonado. Cepeda only participated in a small number of games before being inactivated due to injury. Santurce won the pennant and advanced to the playoffs, where they defeated San Juan in the semifinals and went on to win the final series against the Indios. On January 9, 1965, the team was involved in an uncommon historic event when Maegzi's first baseman, Fred Hawk, did not receive the ball once, going throughout the game without recording an assist or out at first base. Stihel was the league's MVP, while Pizarro was the team's dominant pitcher. Almo returned to the manager office in 1965-66, but the team struggled during the initial half, losing 10 straight games to open the season, being unable to recover, finishing last in the standing. This was Almo's final participation with the Cangrejeros. In the 1966-67 season, the team developed a working agreement with the Baltimore Orioles, which was product of Earl Weaver being signed to serve as manager. Santurce finished second in the regular season, losing a tiebreaker for the first place. In the semifinals, they defeated Arecibo in straight games to advance. The Cangrejeros won the championship against regular season champion Leones de Ponce. The pitching staff, which included Pizarro and Gómez, was responsible for this success, averaging a combined 1.93 ERA during the first two halves. Tony Perez was selected the league's MVP, playing third base in a lineup that included Cepeda, Gilberto Torres, and Dave May. In 1967-68, Santurce won the regular season championship. After eliminating Ponce in the semifinals, the team lost the final series to Caguas. Cepeda's offense was instrumental in the team's success, particularly during the semifinal series. In the 1968-69 season, the Cangrejeros were managed by Frank Robinson. The team won the regular season title by earning their best record up to that year, but lost their semifinal series against the Senadors. Its pitcher, Jim Palmer, threw the first no-hitter in franchise history. In 1969-70, the team advanced to the semifinals, where they defeated the Indios following a solid performance by Fred Bean. However, for the third straight year, the team failed to win a series championship against Ponce. Despite this, the race for the city championship was intense, being highlighted by a no-hitter and a fan incident involving Michel Kuehler. On December 20, 1969, the team participated in a rare game in St. Thomas, which also involved Arecibo. Perez went on to reinforce Ponce in the Caribbean Series, the first held in a decade. In 1970-71, the Cangrejeros signed Reggie Jackson. The team advanced to the playoffs, winning their semifinal against the Senadors. In the finals series, Santurce defeated Caguas to win its 8th championship. The team's performance in the series was not enough to compete for the title. Gómez served as the Cangrejeros manager during the following season. The team advanced to the playoffs, finishing third during the regular season. However, despite having Cepeda and the league's batting champion, Don Baylor, they failed to win their semifinal against the Leones. The team's pitcher, Roger Mort, was the league's best starter that year, with a record of 14-1. Robinson returned to the manager office in 1972-73. Pizarro and Mort were joined by several prospects from the Los Angeles Dodgers in the lineup. Santurce finished first in a regular season that was interrupted by Clemente's death in an airplane accident. In the semifinals, they defeated the Lobos 4-1. The Cangrejeros won its 9th title against the Leones, winning 5 of 6 games. The team finished second in the Caribbean Series. In 1973-74, Santurce signed Gil Flores, who served as a reserve player. The Cangrejeros maintained the 4th place of the standings throughout the season, while experiencing defensive lapses in its infield defense. Arturo Miranda, Luis Alcaraz, and Manuel Ruiz were employed to compensate in the infield. However, the team was eliminated during the regular season in a sudden death game against Arecibo. In 1974-75, both Gómez and Pizarro returned as veterans with more than 20 seasons of experience. The team's performance was inconsistent, while its import players did not record good numbers, which led to a fifth-place finish, being eliminated during the regular season. Two different managers would fill the role for the next 3 years. The league reduced the season to 60 games in 1975-76. Mort and Gilberto Rondon served as the team's main players while Gómez and Pizarro played another year. Juan Biniquez and Sandy Alomar Essar complemented them. Santurce was able to clinch the final playoff berth, defeating the Leones in a series. The Cangrejeros advanced to the semifinals, losing a 7-game series against the Criollos. Pizarro played his final season with the team on 1976-77, while Gómez was signed to the Vaqueros. He, Mort, Rondon, Ramon Hernandez, and Esteban Texador were the team's main figures. The Cangrejeros finished in the fourth place of the regular season standing. The team lost its semifinal to Caguas in 6 games. Despite having a lineup that included Alomar, Ismael Oquendo, Ruiz, Biniquez, and Pachi Delgado, among others, Santurce failed to qualify to the postseason in 1977-78. This was Elrod Hendricks' final season with the Cangrejeros. Hiram Cubas, who was the team's general manager, ran the team on a trust established by Poto Paniagua years before. Robinson was contracted again to manage the team in 1978-79. The team finished third during the regular season, losing its semifinal to Meags. 1982,000 influx of MLB players. The following season, an executive vice president position was created just to allow participation to Zorrilla, who also received a recognition for assembling the 1955 lineup, and a new logo was debuted. Robinson returned for his final season as Santurce's manager. With a lineup of Biniquez, Perez, Rondon, Lenny Randall, Bob Molinaro, Oquendo, and Mort, the team won the pennant. The Cangrejeros defeated Arecibo in their semifinal, but lost the championship to Bayamón. Cookie Rojas was assigned to the manager position on 1980-81, signing Ivan de Jesus, Fernando Gonzalez, and Willie Akins. Cepeda, Gómez, and Pizarro now served as coaches for the team. However, Santurce was unable to classify, finishing fifth. On April 9, 1981, Zorrilla died, and the following season was held in his honor. Gómez managed part of the 1981-82 season before resigning the office for Jack Aker. Carlos Lezcano, Ed Figueroa, Guillermo Montañez, and Jerry Morales were signed to the roster. After advancing to the postseason, the Cangrejeros lost the semifinals to Ponce. In 1982-83, the Cangrejeros played their home games in Juan Ramón Loubriel Stadium in the municipality of Bayamón. Figueroa, Perez, Luis Tiant, Reggie Patterson, Jose Alvarez, and Hernandez were among the players in the roster. The team won the regular season pennant. Arecibo defeated the Cangrejeros in their semifinal. Ray Miller would serve as Santurce's manager in 1983-84. The team signed John Shelby and Jerry Willard, who won the LBPPR's MVP. Santurce finished third, but went on to lose the semifinals to Ponce. In 1984-85, the Cangrejeros signed Sandy Alomar, Jr., and Ruben Sierra, receiving large amounts of game time despite their youth. Frank Verdi was the team's manager. Santurce finished third during the regular season. The Cangrejeros won its semifinal over Caguas. The San Juan Metros won the final series in 7 games. Villard won the batting championship and Sierra was the Rookie of the Year. Featuring a young roster, Santurce finished third and advanced to the newly established round robin in the 1985-86 season. The team got to a slow start during this phase and was eliminated when Mayagüez and San Juan clinched the first 2 places to advance to the finals. In 1986-87, the team developed a 3-year professional agreement with the Dodgers, which provided them with several prospects and staff members, including manager Kevin Kennedy. Despite this, the team finished 5th during the regular season and did not advance to the round robin. The Cangrejeros won the 1987-88 pennant. Alomar, Sierra, and DeJesus were joined by the returning Willard, Mike Hartley, Orlando Sanchez, Bill Kruger, and Mike Perez. After a solid performance in the round robin, the team advanced to the finals along the Indios. The team lost the final series in 7 games. In the final season of their contract with the Dodgers, the Cangrejeros experienced severe offensive lapses, finishing last in the league's standing. Alomar Jr. did not play during this season and left for Ponce afterwards. Ed Romero and Dwight Smith were the only players to be selected for the All-Star game. The 1989-90 season was shortened by 10 games due to Hurricane Hugo, which affected Puerto Rico's metropolitan area severely. Ray Miller was brought in as manager, but was unable to gain consistency in the team's performance. Santurce finished 5th during the regular season, being eliminated from the round robin. Sierra did not play during this season, while DeJesus recorded a solid performance. The 1990-91 team included Benaquez, DeJesus, Sanchez, Mark Lemke, Junior Ortiz, Jaime Navarro, Candy Sierra, and Luis Aquino, among others. The manager's office was held by Mike Cubbage and Mako Olivares during the latter part of the season. After a slow start caused by several injured players, Santurce played better under Olivares and qualified to the round robin. After finishing second, the team defeated Mayagüez in the final 5-3 in a best-of-9 series. The Cangrejeros participated in the Caribbean Series, but only won once in the preliminary round. During the next season, the team was reinforced with some players from the Atlanta Braves and Steve Wendell. DeJesus, then 38 years old, retired from the league. The Cangrejeros finished 4th during the regular season. However, they were unable to advance in the round robin, losing 4 consecutive games. In 1992-93, Bayamón lost its franchise and Santurce received the rights for Juan Gonzalez and Francisco Olivares. The combined offense of new arrivals Gonzalez, Dickie Thon, and Hector Villanueva carried the team throughout the season. The team's bullpen also recorded the league's lowest ERA, with 1.63, led by Olivares, Greg Harris, Jose Lebron, and Scott Bales. Santurce advanced to the round robin, where they finished second after defeating Mayagüez in an elimination game. The team won the championship, winning the final series against San Juan 5-1. The Cangrejeros carried most of the LBPPR's awards. Olivares was Manager of the Year and Lebron was Pitcher of the Year, while Gonzalez won the league's MVP and led it in home runs. Santurce went on to win their first Caribbean Series in 4 decades, relying on their pitching staff and Thon's offense, while Villanueva was named the event's MVP. In 1993-94, the Cangrejeros, with a roster that included Gonzalez, Sierra, and Leo Gómez, finished 4th during the regular season. After finishing the round robin with a record of 8-4, the team advanced to the final series, losing to San Juan 5-2. For 1994-95, the Cangrejeros lost the rights of Gonzalez and Olivares to Caguas, which now held Bayamon's former franchise. The team experienced offensive lapses throughout the season, finishing fifth. This performance led to the firing of three reinforcement players, Troy O'Leary, Carl Everett, and Gerald Williams. The entire outfield was changed, while only Sierra was producing. Thon retired after limited participation. In 1995-96, the LBPPR suspended the round robin and returned to its former format. Jose Cruz was brought in as manager, which brought in a loose agreement between the team and the Houston Astros, which loaned some of their prospects. Jose Cruz, Jr. made his debut during this season. Ray Ordonez, Darryl Strawberry, Melvin Neves, Eduardo Perez, and Orlando Merced formed part of the roster. Santurce finished third during the regular season. However, the Cangrejeros lost their semifinal to Arecibo. The 1996-97 team included several figures from the Astros, including Matt Galante and prospects Dennis Colan, James Mountain, Chris Holt, and Brian Hunter, among others. Santurce advanced to the postseason, but lost all of their semifinal games against San Juan. The following year, the Cangrejeros were unable to advance, finishing last during the regular season. In a year that the presence of Astros personnel was already diminishing, Sierra still had solid offensive, while Scott Illarton pitched a no-hitter for the team. In January 1999, the final city championship of the decade was played. Santurce advanced to the playoffs but were swept by Mayagüez in their semifinal. Franchise instability 2000-2012. The Cangrejeros opened the decade by winning their 12th LBPPR championship. The team went on to win the Caribbean Series that were held in Santo Domingo undefeated. This was the Cangrejeros' fifth Caribbean championship, and the only title that a team from Puerto Rico won during that decade. In 2004, after a big decline in attendance in recent years, the Cangrejeros were sold to Jose Valentin, who decided to move the team to Manotti, with the approval of the mayor of San Juan, causing controversy among fans of the Cangrejeros. In response, the mayor changed the name of the Senadores de San Juan to Cangrejeros de Santurce for the 2004-05 season. However, the following season, the new Cangrejeros moved, and the team changed its name to the Lobos de Arecibo, leaving the capital city without a baseball team for the first time in the league's history. On May 2008, it was announced that the team would resume play for the 2008-09 season, and that the Emergence de Manotti would be moved back to Santurce, and again become the Cangrejeros. As part of the Liga de Béisbol Profesional, de Puerto Rico's restructuration program, Major League Baseball offered to work with its publicity. On July 15, 2008, personnel from the league and Major League Baseball participated in a reunion where details about the league's merchandising were discussed. The team was still owned by Valentin. Participating in the now renamed Puerto Rico Baseball League, the Santurce made the playoffs in their first season back after a 4-year absence, but were eliminated in the first round. In November 2009, a dispense suggested by Valentin was accepted by the league's board of directors, and the team recessed for the following season. This was due to the franchise's difficulty to secure a home stadium due to the opposition of San Juan's municipal government. In August 2010, the league announced the return of the Cangrejeros, as well as the Senadores, to Hiram Bithorn Stadium. However, the following month, the municipality of San Juan once again opposed the participation of the two teams in the venue. League officials immediately held a reunion with municipal government personnel, pursuing a solution. They were not listed on the 2010-11 LBPPR schedule. Return of the franchise and back to success 2012 present. Thanks to the claim of the Santurce fans and in preparation for the 75th anniversary celebration, the Professional Baseball League reactivated the franchise for the 2012-2013 season. As of the 2014-15 season, the team plays in the Puerto Rican League, now renamed the LBPRC. They won the 2014-2015 championship under the management of Eduardo Perez. They once again crowned champions on the 2015-2016 season under the management of Ramon Vasquez, who also led the team to another championship on the 2018-2019 season, beating the Meags Indios. Vasquez resigned as a manager right after winning the title due to discomforts with hardcore Cangrejeros fans. Due to his prompt resignation right after winning the title, the team designated Carmelo Martinez as interim manager, who led the team during the 2019 Caribbean Series in Panama. For the 2019-2020, Santurce announced the hiring of Jose Valentin, who was a former player for this franchise and former champion as a player in the 1999-2000 season. Valentin led Cangrejeros to the best record 21-10 during the regular season and faced again the Meags Indios in the finals. Santurce won the series 4-1, earning the 16th title for the franchise on its 80th anniversary. Since rejoining the league, Cangrejeros has won 4 titles, including straight titles twice, the only back-to-back wins in franchise history.